What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over the NPC specialist locations in Chapter 5 and letting you know which ones I think are best to hire. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below which NPC you think is best. So, as of the time I'm recording this, there really aren't any NPCs that I think are like very good aside from the specialists. Like, there's not any that sell shockwaves, there's not any that sell like high rarity shotguns like how we've seen in the past. So the more effective ones are just going to be the specialist NPCs. And also in the past, in Chapter 4, there was like at least 2 of each specialist on the map, but that is not currently the case this season. There is only 1 supply specialist, 1 scout specialist, and 1 heal specialist on the map, and then there's 2 heavy specialists for some reason. So I'm not sure if they're going to be adding them like more later on during the course of the season. That would kind of make sense. We'll have to see. We're going to start off with the supply specialist because I think this is just far and away the best one, and in Chapter 4 this is also what I thought was the best specialist. These are going to be the ones that resupply you ammo, but they will also resupply you with shockwaves and bunkers if that's what you hold out, or even EMP grenades, clingers, if that's something you're concerned with. It'll give you the ammo for the weapon you have out every like 30 seconds or so, I think. And then if you hold out shockwaves or you hold out bunkers when it's time for them to resupply you, they should give you that item, but they're weird sometimes in that they'll give you like EMP nades when you have shockwaves out sometimes, but like typically they will eventually give you shockwaves if you hold your shockwaves out when it's time for them to resupply you, or bunkers if that's what you want. The supply specialist this season can be found at Rebel's Roost, which actually works out quite well because I feel like this is kind of like a nice low-key POI. It is a named location, but I really didn't have that many people contesting me here typically, and it is near Lavish Lair. So what I liked to do when I was going for this NPC was land here, you know, hire the bot, clear the area, loot up, and then go ahead and third party Lavish Lair, and then that should give you the mythic auto shotgun, the medallion if you want it, and access to the workbench if you are able to get there before the other player has like left the POI. And it typically will take them much longer to clear Lavish than it will for you to clear Rebel's Roost. So I didn't really have any problem, you know, clearing my POI and getting there in time. But if you are, you know, just more contested at Rebel's Roost than typical, or maybe the player at Lavish just clears it very quickly, then maybe the timing doesn't work out. But I found it was pretty easy for me to get there on time to be able to like third party the vault location and then get the mythic auto shotgun, which is pretty nice. So I think the supply specialist steal site at Rebel's Roost is probably the best this season. The next one that I think is going to be quite good is going to be the scout specialist. This can be found in between these mountains south of Grand Glacier. And he has a nice little spot here because he has like a few chests, he has slurp barrels, and then there's also a launch pad near him, which you can use to go ahead and third party Grand Glacier. And what this NPC does is he will scan the area. I think it's every minute or every 45 seconds. Either way, he periodically will scan the area and mark enemies, and I think he also marks loot for you, but the more important thing is going to be that he marks enemies. And because, you know, you can hire him and then hit that launch pad and go to Grand Glacier, when I did this, he typically would scan like as I got to Grand Glacier, which was really nice because you're going to be there still pretty early on. It doesn't take you long to loot the area by this bot, so there should still be players in that area fighting, and also probably fighting the boss. And one of the real inconvenient things with the boss locations this season is that there's just so much audio going down with all the guards, the boss itself, and then the players. It could be tough to know like what audio is players and what is guards, you know. But if they scan the area for you and you see where the players are and where the guards are, I feel like it's pretty easy to know, okay, like those footsteps are guards, this is where the player is, and you can kind of play accordingly. And because of just like the timing from, you know, looting his initial spot to going to Grand Glacier, I felt like I always could basically get a scan when I landed at Grand Glacier. He would like teleport to me, and that just made it very easy to play that area out, third party it, you know, clear the boss, get the workbench. I don't really like the mythic there, but the workbench I think is still worth having. And the 100% radio tower is near Railway and Grand Glacier, which is pretty nice. The heals specialist is going to be on the beach on the left side of the map here. It's the suntan specialist. And this is a nice little low-key landing spot if you are looking for somewhere more chill to land. I never really go for this. I was never really that fond of the heal specialist. Like, I didn't think they were that big of a deal, but it still is something nice to have. And if you do like this, like I said, this low-key beach landing spot, he wouldn't be a bad one to hire. This just really isn't a location that I go to, but it is a decent amount of loot for like a solo and a duo. There's coolers here for guaranteed heals, and there also is a launch pad to rotate out after you hire the bot. So I don't think this would be a bad landing spot at all if that is something that you're going for. And then the final two characters we're going to talk about are going to be the heavy specialists. These are the ones that throw explosives, and for some reason there's already two of these on the map. So the previous specialist, there was only currently one available, but for the heavy specialists there are already two. And these are going to be the Mecha Team Shadow and Metal Mouth. The Mecha Team Shadow is at this train station in between Ritzy Riviera and Ruined Reels. And Metal Mouth is at kind of like this little like cemetery area in between Classy Courts and Reckless Railways. I've never really liked the heavy specialists at all. I thought they were just kind of like annoying more than anything else. But they do throw the new Klinger grenades that like chain explode, so they can be pretty chaotic to play against at times, but they also can grief you because they drop their grenades when they're eliminated. So when you eliminate the heavy specialist, it'll drop grenades and blow up more, and this can impact you if somebody, you know, kills your bot next to your cover. I have a clip, hopefully I'll be able to find it and play it here, where the final player was in a bush with his heavy specialist. So I just kept shooting the specialist, and then eventually the specialist died, and then dropped all the grenades and like chain exploded the bush, and then this player had no cover and the game was over at that point. So the heavies can be good, but I feel like they're just more random than anything else, and they can be used against you at times, but there's, you know, definitely going to be situations for sure where them just causing chaos and blowing a bunch of stuff up helps you. I've just never been that fond of them. So the two that I think are most valuable are going to be the supply specialist at Rebel's Roost, just getting guaranteed, you know, shockwaves or bunkers on cooldown essentially is very, very helpful. And then the scout specialist is also very good. I think it's always been good, but I like the timing of being able to third-party Grand Glacier and then go to that radio tower after getting the specialist. And I'm not sure if I already talked about this in the video or I forgot to, but I found the scout specialist, the one that Mark thinks, I found it to be really helpful when hunting for medallion players, because when you're going for medallion players, you'll see the gold circle on the map, but sometimes you won't really know exactly where they are. You'll just have like a general idea of where they are, you know? And this really helps because like once you get into that gold circle, odds are if your specialist scans, it'll mark the medallion player nearby. And these areas are typically very chaotic. Like fighting the medallion players usually brings out more third parties and everything. So having the scout specialist to scan the area and mark players in that situation, I also thought was very helpful. So those are the two that I would recommend going for. And that was basically how I felt about the NPCs in Chapter 4 as well. The scout specialist and the supply specialist I thought were the best. And it really just depended on, you know, where they were on the map, as if it was something I wanted to go for. And I feel like both the supply specialist and the scout specialist this season are in like pretty attainable locations on the map. They're not like, you know, extremely on the edge of the map or in the middle of nowhere or anything like that. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting. If you did, as always, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below which specialist you think is best. I asked in a video earlier this week if you guys would like a video like this, and a lot of people said that it would be helpful. So here it is. I hope you found it helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.